Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice and I have a sales update video for you. So this is going to be for the last 2 weeks or so. It's going to be Etsy, Poshmark and eBay as it usually is, and I have had some fantastic sales. I'm really thrilled. I feel really blessed by it. Lots on each platform basically, except Etsy, but Etsy is always a straggler and that's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is show you basically a cross section of them. I'm going to try and show you like the most interesting sales, or the ones that are definitely more interesting to me, like slightly more unusual items perhaps. But like I always mention, please bear in mind that I do have like, $10 sales as well and things like that. Not everything is sort of up there, but there are definitely some good sales in here, especially when we get to the eBay section. I was really, really psyched to find one of those things. It just blew my mind how much it was worth. So let's just crack on. First item, Etsy. This sold for $14.95. I have had this listed for years. I think maybe 3 years at this point. It's vintage. I picked it up because I thought it was super cute with like the little woodland animals. It just took forever to sell. So off it went for $14.95 plus shipping, and I am glad to see it on its way, I have to say. Vintage cat scarf. If you watch my Thrift With Me videos, you may have seen this featured in a yard sale / rummage sale video recently, where I just found it randomly, and I think I paid $1 for it is what they charged me, and it sold for $24.95, and that one sold quickly. That was probably within like a week or two of being listed. I kind of knew that Etsy was going to be the place for that one, I have to say. Okay, next, I have sold this before. This is my second time selling this particular item. It is a vintage, like an advent calendar, not calendar, candle. That's where I'm going with this. Advent candle holder. And it's really cute. It's got little angels. It's from the 80s. I know that because the previous one that I found was in its box and had the like the 1980 whatever it was on the box, so I knew how to date it, and I paid, I think it was $1 at an estate sale. Didn't have the box, it was just by itself, but I recognized it, and it sold for $34.95, which is not too far from what the other one sold for, so I guess they may hold their value a little bit. Just something to look out for randomly when you come across lots of vintage items at yard sales and things. Okay, very random purse. Picked it up just because it was so loud. Very 80s, all these mixed prints in a faux leather. Sold for $24.95, again plus shipping. I do plus shipping on everything pretty much. Very rarely will I do free shipping. It's a totally personal choice, I know, but just to let you know, if something is free shipping, I'll tell you. Okay, Poshmark. So these were kind of interesting to me because they were at a yard sale where I couldn't afford anything. Not that I could afford anything, that's wrong, but there was nothing there that I could buy to really flip for a profit. They had like American Eagle tank tops or t-shirts, plain t-shirts for like $10 there. And right in the back corner, I sort of wandered over and spotted these, and I think they were $3 from the 90s, Skechers something else. That's a line I have sold a couple of now. Let me see if I can kind of bring that up as well so you can see it. The other ones I sold were simple, but just not quite as cool, but they were definitely had that 90s vibe. I don't think I've got any pictures of the soles. Oh well, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, oh, there it is. There we go. Found them. Something else from Skechers. So yes, 90s, they were leather. They were just really, really cool. Like, they absolutely scream 90s to me, and they sold for $35, as you can see here. Just goes to show there's almost always something to find if you look hard enough. Okay, these are from one of my favorite yard sales I've ever been to in my whole thrifting career. It's a video that's going to be upcoming. Keep your eyes peeled. I think I'm going to put something in the title about finding rare items, so you can look for that if you want to, if you're interested in seeing what I found there. But it blew my mind. I spotted it on the way to a different yard sale. I wasn't even going to stop there. And almost everything that I have listed so far, I haven't been able to find good comps for, because they've been completely sold out or just rare, just hard to get a hold of. And there's another item coming up that I'll show you that sold as well. It's been blowing my mind, and it's been so much fun to list from that yard sale because I really don't know what I have, and I like the research. What can I say? Okay, anyway, sorry for the tangent. They're brand new. Demonia, I think is how you pronounce it. Anyway, they're like alternative brand. So yeah, they were brand new in the box. I paid $5 for them, and they sold for $40. And they sold in less than a week. We have a vintage Scooby-Doo dress watch. I picked this up at a yard sale. I paid $1 for it. It was untested. I had to sell it, as you can see down here. It needs a new battery, untested. But I just thought it was really cool because it had Scoobs on it, and it was made in Japan. It said on the back. I actually had a lot of watches on eBay. I think I had 8 watches at this point, and it's only been listed for about 2 weeks. Like I said, I paid $1 and it sold for $30. This is not particularly interesting, but I wanted to share it with you because they sold in like 10 minutes of being listed, and that's always fun, right? So I paid $1 per piece at a yard sale. They were both size 40, vineyard vines, just little boys button-ups. They were both plaid, so they made the perfect like lot. And yeah, $20 in about, I don't know, maybe it was like 10 minutes. It was really, really quick, and you can't go wrong really. So okay, vintage Christmas sweaters. I've been selling a lot of these. I still swear blind by vintage Halloween sweaters, like ugly Halloween sweaters, if you like. Again, don't really think they're ugly, just a keyword. But I've been doing Christmas sweaters as well. It's a little more saturated, I think. There's less Halloween sweaters out there. So if you see them and they're cool and they're vintage, I suggest grabbing them because they do really well. But Christmas can do well too, as long as it's like really, really loud, I find. This brand can do pretty good. Unfortunately, this one had some condition issues, missing buttons and a few little marks and things like that. So it sold for $20, but I still only paid about $1, I think, for it. Timberland brown leather ankle boots, paid, I think, oh gosh, I'm not sure if these were I had 2 pairs, you see. These were either $3 or like $1, but they sold for $30 either way, and they were older ones as well. I think they were vintage. This I wanted to show you because I picked it up just based on nothing but like the style and the fabric content, basically. So it was vintage. It was 100% Shetland wool is why I decided to grab it, and it had that kind of Nordic Fair Isle look to it. It was kind of pastel colors, and it sold for $35, and I think I paid about $3 in a thrift store for that. But just literally nothing to do with the brand or anything, just literally like the style and the fabric content and the fact that it was vintage is what made me pick that item up. This item I grabbed at a yard sale just a couple of weeks ago. It sold within about 2 days of being listed. I had grabbed a whole bunch of vintage, they were literally labeled at the yard sale ugly sweaters, basically. But there was all kinds of different ones. I think that past Christmas one I actually just showed you there. I think that might have been one of them, and there's another one coming up as well that sold. But I grabbed armfuls of them, and she was like, oh God, just give me $5 for all of them. Okay, I'd be happy to. This was one of them. I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but I decided to use the keyword like cottagecore and things like that just due to the style. And like I said, it sold really quickly for $30. So I was very, very happy about that. And I thought it was really cool for sure. All right, this was also a good sale that I was not necessarily expecting on Poshmark, which sort of teaches me a lesson as I don't know it all, obviously. So vintage Nike color block tracksuit, so had the pants and the jackets. Paid $2 at a yard sale for the set, and it sold in about 2 weeks for the $70 that you see here. I assumed that this was going to sell on eBay or most likely Etsy, and it didn't. It got scooped up on Poshmark, and it just reiterates to me, I have to tell myself all the time to cross-post things to Poshmark and give them a chance, like that Scooby-Doo watch. I would not have thought it would have sold on Poshmark, but the audience is there, and it's so quick and easy to cross-post. I definitely recommend doing it. Just a quick side note, telling it to myself as much as anybody else. All right, $1 at a yard sale, Brooks Brothers, 100% lambswool cable knit sweater. It was a women's size extra large, sold for $20 in a day or two of being listed. Matilda Jane, this sold in under a day as well. I paid, I think, about $5 or $6 at a yard sale. Actually, the same yard sale that I picked up the Nike windbreaker set, and it sold for $40. So again, nice quick flip there. Matilda Jane pretty much always does well for me. Not so much the tops, but the dresses, absolutely, the women's dresses. Picked this up at a yard sale as well, paid $5 because it was brand new with tags. I think it was from Nordstrom originally, but I thought it was pretty cute. Sold for $30, so I'm happy with that. That's a decent profit there. and that sold pretty quickly as well, about 3 weeks or so being listed. These surprised me as well, so I couldn't find a lot of comps for these. The brand Lugs, they were faux leather, like faux fur or whatever, but they were brand new, obviously with the tags, and they were only $1 at a yard sale, so I decided to grab them due to the fact that they were brand new and the style was fairly cute, and they sold within a week for $40, so I was pretty surprised by that, I have to say, but I would definitely pick them up again if I found them brand new. This is a whole new ball game for me. I know absolutely nothing about children's vintage children's clothing other than like grab the Oshkosh Bagosh vintage overalls, do that every time because they sell really well, but I just picked up some pieces that I thought were very classic and very cute and were very obviously vintage, and this was one of them. So 25 cents per piece is what I have into my vintage children's clothing right now, and this one, as you can see, sold for 18 plus shipping. And I have so much more to list, I have to say. Lots of holiday pieces that I need to get up. Coach bag, it sold for 50. I paid 10 at a rummage sale, so I still got a decent profit. I think that's still a profit of about $30 or so not bad, but I'd hope to get a little bit more. I'd started off at 100 and lowered towards 80, and then when someone finally sent me an offer of 50, it had been listed for over a year at this point. I absolutely took it to clear the space and just to kind of recoup some money there. All right, let's talk eBay. So this is one of the items that I was talking about that like rare yard sale. So I showed you the shoes that I sold from there. It blows my mind. So this little guy here, I'm going to tell you right now, he sold for 90 plus shipping. He sold within like an hour of being listed. He had watches immediately. Yeah, I don't know what to say. He is apparently super rare. And the person at the yard sale, I'm not going to tell you everything because I'll tell you a bit about it when I actually do the yard sale video in the haul and stuff to show you what all I picked up. But basically, it was a mother who was selling on behalf of her daughter primarily, who was a sort of semi-professional cosplayer. And she was into very kind of like alternative stuff. I'd almost call it obscure, but like in the most fantastic way. It was so interesting shopping there. And a lot of the stuff I picked up there, I picked up loads of plush, clothes, shoes, that kind of thing, and bags. And they're all just a little bit different. So like this is a Disney store plush. It was small. It would like sit in the palm of your hand pretty much. But it is Toby, apparently, from The Great Mouse Detective. And apparently you can't find him anywhere. Like my only comp was one that had its tags still attached. Exactly like him, and it had sold for 100 on eBay. So I started him at $124.99 just to kind of like test the waters, because like I said, there's none on Mercari. I saw one on WorthPoint, but I'm not subscribed to that, so I couldn't see how much it sold for. But other than that, I really couldn't find him anywhere, and I decided 90 was a fair price for him. Like I said, he's a small plush, and it's just one of those things where you can kind of like rule the marketplace in a way when you're the only one who has it and it's something that is wanted. But all that to say, look at your plush, especially your Disney plush, especially if you don't know the character. I'm a massive Disney fan. I collect Disney Anna. I've done it for years, and I didn't know who he was at first glance, so that straight away is a sign of needing to look him up. But yes, $90 plus shipping, paid 33 cents for him, so absolutely fantastic flip. Okay. Next one, a vintage tablecloth. I paid, I think, $4 for this at an estate sale. I grabbed it because, now the comps didn't look fantastic, I will say, for the brand, but it was brand new in the package, it was vintage, and it had a nativity scene on it. If it had been anything else, I don't know if I'd have bothered, but the fact that it was nativity, I thought would help sell it well, and it did. It sold for the $34.99 that you see right there, full asking price plus the shipping. This I wanted to show you just because I thought it was kind of fun. I think I paid like 50 cents for this. It's just dogs on like a sweatshirt. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. And it was a size 3X, and it sold within a day for $15 on a best offer. Oh, sorry, $15.99 on a best offer. So, you know, sometimes just quirky just sells. Okay, vintage Willie Ray Studio girl holding pie plate. Picked this up at a estate sale for $1. It sold for $15 plus shipping on a best offer. These were also from the yard sale that I told you about with the Toby dog plush that sold for $90, and the brand new alternative shoes that sold for $40. Paid $2 for these Doc Martin Mary Janes, women's size 10 US. They were actually 8 English because they were made in England. Paid $2 and they sold for $74.99 plus shipping overnight. They were the last thing I had listed that night, and when I woke up in the morning they had sold. So I've already made all my money back on just those 3 items at that yard sale, and I must have like 50 or so still to list. I'm really excited about how that's going to work out, so stay tuned for the video. All right, Ann Taylor 2-piece suit. These are one of the only Ann Taylor things that I actually pick up now is the 2-piece like career suits. This sold for $30 on a best offer. This was some retail arbitrage, which I do not enjoy, I will say. Picked it up at Ross for $8. It was Wild Fox, brand new with tags. Obviously, it's Christmas-y, so it's like the right time for it to sell, and it sold for $35 on a best offer. This blew my mind. This was from a recent yard sale that I put up where I was like, so much stuff, I think is what it's called on the thumbnail. And I kind of walked past it a few times, and then I decided to look it up just right before I sort of checked out, if you like, and I was very surprised how well they were doing. This one was brand new in the box. You can see it all kind of like sealed inside. It was basically a glass sleigh with a reindeer figure. They were all made out of glass. You put like candy and stuff in it. Sold for $69.99 plus shipping. Anthropology Cardigan. It was so fluffy. I just don't even know how to describe it. Paid $2. I was shooting really high with it because I thought the style was cute. But someone offered me $25 and I took it because I don't really want to keep storing it, and 'tis the season. This was also featured recently in a yard sale video. I paid $5 for this. It was a National Hockey League jersey, and it was vintage, and it sold for $60 plus shipping. American Eagle, I know this is bread and butter, but I wanted to share it because this is what I look for when it comes to American Eagle. They were a skinny jegging fit, and they were the curvy highest rise, and they were a size 16. It works almost every time in my experience. I paid 50 cents at a yard sale for these, and they sold immediately for $19.99. Plus the shipping, of course. Just a no particular brand, vintage crushed velvet mock turtleneck top. Again, super bread and butter for me. Sold for, I think it was $18 on that item. Okay, this sold for $30, and I think this was maybe one of those ugly Christmas sweaters that like I got for the whole pile for $5. I thought it was super cute with all of the different Santas. It did have a little condition issue, had a little bit of a hole at the shoulder, so I took a best offer of $30 because of that, and it sold within a day or two. This item sold for $18 as well. Lauren Ralph Lauren does not do fantastic all the time, but something like this in my experience does. This sold again within 2 days of being listed. Size extra large, bright pink, crushed velvet, cold shoulder. It had everything kind of going for it, so I knew it would sell fairly quickly. This I picked up at the same yard sale that I picked up that Santa's, like the glass sleigh I just showed you. So I paid about $1.81 for this. I also paid about $1.81 for that glass reindeer and sleigh that I showed you, by the way, just FYI. And it sold for a best offer of, I think it was $18 looking at this. I think it was $18 because it had a couple of condition issues. This item sold for $15. I paid $1. It's just like a little Wi-Fi range extender, just super quick and easy to list, super easy to ship. J. Crew mustard yellow chunky cable knit cardigan. This is some of the only J. Crew stuff I pick up now because the style is just so incredibly classic. And it sold for $25 on a best offer plus shipping. And the shipping was kind of high because I could not get that bad boy into a padded flat rate mailer. This I picked up for $8 at a yard sale. You'll see this in an upcoming haul and like yard sale with me too. She was asking $8. I asked her if she'd take $5. She said absolutely not. So it doesn't hurt to ask. So I paid the $8 happily, and it sold for $48.99 within 2 weeks plus the shipping. So still a really good profit there. Sometimes people just say no, and that is a-okay. Thick skin and all that. Okay, vintage Lisa Frank. This thing has driven me crazy. It is backpack. I paid $1 for it at a yard sale. It is vintage. The capital L will tell you that. Also, it's made in the USA and all that good stuff. Few condition issues like some discolorations and some writing inside of a name, or I think on the handle. And it's still sold for $70 on a best offer. However, it's sold 3 times, and 2 times people didn't pay, and the 3rd time they almost didn't pay, and they squeaked by at the last moment and managed to pay, thank goodness, and it went on its way. So glad to have sent that out for $70. All right, we're almost there. Keens, these came from the same yard sale that I got those lugs boots from. So also $1 on these, and they sold for $28 on a best offer. The Hush Knit lace-up sneakers can do really quite well. Watch out for those. Grinch Ornaments, they were just from Walmart, but they were from 2004, and there were 2 separate ones there, and they sold for $16 for the pair. I paid $1 each, so $2 into that. Club Monaco sweater. It was like a very chunky knit fisherman sweater, 100% lamb's wool, paid $1. It sold for $30 plus shipping. And the last one, I don't know if I showed you this in my last sales video, but I know I talked about him in my sales gone wrong video. If you haven't checked that out, you should definitely go take a look, where I talk about, you know, sales that have gone terribly wrong. And I just wanted to touch on this in case I had not included him by mistake. I paid $1 for this guy, and he sold for $180 plus shipping. These gemmy animated snowmen where they spin the snowflake, bolo. Absolute bolo. Look out for them. They come in different colors. Some of them are actually like Frosty the Snowman. But yes, I as long as they're working, even if they're not, quite frankly, you can sell them for parts, I think for like 30 or 40. Definitely keep your eyes peeled, but $180 on this guy. And like I said, $1 pickup. All right, you guys. That is it. I'm going to take a break. Thank you so much to everybody who's watched this video. I hope that your sales are also really going well. I hope you're having a blessed season and you're staying safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, you guys.